So first of all, I will discuss about Article 1306. So Article 1306 states that the contracting parties may establish such stipulation, clauses, terms, and conditions as may deem convenient, provided they are not contrary to law, moral, good custom, public order, or public policy. This article stresses the freedom to contract, the right of the people, or the freedom to enter into a lawful contract as to their own convenience and advantage as long as the contract are not prohibited or contrary to law, morals, good customs, public order, or public policy. So valid contract. What is a valid contract? Valid contract is a contract that meets all the legal requisites for the type of agreement involved and are therefore legally binding and enforceable. Second would be the freedom to contract. Freedom to contract, the right to enter contract is one of the freedoms guaranteed to the individual by the Constitution. Freedom to contract is both constitutional and statutory right. So, limitation on contractual stipulation. There are two, which is the law and the police power. First would be the law. It is a fundamental requirement that the contract entered must be in accordance with the law. Second, the police power, where there is no law in existence or when the law is silent, the will of the parties prevails unless their contract contravenes the limitations of morals. One would be good custom, public order, and public policy. So, contract must be a contrary to law. It is understood that if the contract or contractual stipulation conflicts with the law, they are null and void because the law takes precedence over a contract. The contracting parties must adhere to the fundamental principles of justice outlined in Article 5. Acts committed in violation of the provisions of mandatory or prohibitory laws are void unless the law expressly authorizes their legality. Example could be stipulation to pay usurious interest or void. Contract must be contrary to morals. Morals are concerned with what is right and wrong. It is concerned with the norms of good and right conduct that have evolved in the community. Morals are also referred to as a good custom, and any contract that has an immoral purpose is contrary to good custom. An example of this would be a contract whereby Erica promised to live as the common law wife of John without the benefit of marriage in consideration of 2 million pesos is immoral and therefore void. Contract must be contrary to good customs. Customs are habits and practices that have been practiced for a long time. Contracts that severely restricts a person's personal or economic freedom. So an example would be John and Drac contract, whereby John binds himself to slap his mother in consideration of 13,000 pesos to be given by Erica. So this contract is void because it is against the good custom of showing respect to our parents. Contract must be contrary to public order. Although public order primarily refers to public safety, it has also been interpreted to mean public welfare. Public policy was synonymous with public order. Example would be a provision in a lease contract that allows the landlord to use force to evict the tenant if the latter fails to pay the agreed upon rent is void because it violates public order. Contract must not be contrary to public policy. Public policy. No subject or citizen can lawfully do that which which tends to be injurious to the public or against the public good or contravenes some interest of the society. Example: a condition in a contract states that in case of sale, the buyer shall not sell to others the land sold, but only to seller or to his heirs for the same price. The condition is contrary to public policy because it virtually amounts to public restriction on the right of ownership, specifically the owner's right to freely dispose of his property. This would be all for Article 13. Article 1327 states that the following cannot give consent to a contract. First, unemancipated minors. Second, insane or demented persons and deaf mutes do not know how to write. Capacity to give consent presumed. The Civil Code does not define who have capacity or legal ability to give consent to a contract. It defines, on the contrary, who have no capacity, by which it can be inferred that capacity is the general rule which exists in those of whom the law has not defined. The burden of proof is on the party who assets incapacity. Persons who cannot give consent. A contract entered where one of the parties is incapable of giving consent to a contract is voidable. A voidable contract is valid and binding until it is annulled by a proper action in court. It is susceptible to ratification. First, unemancipated minors. They are referred to those persons who have not yet reached the age of majority, which is 18 years old, and are still subject to parental authority. A minor can be emancipated by attainment of the age of majority, by marriage, or by concession, recorded in the civil register, of a father or of the mother who exercise parental authority. Second would be insane or demented persons. The insanity must exist at the time of constructing. Unless proved otherwise, a person is presumed sane. Deaf mutes. Not all deaf mutes are disqualified to give consent to contracts. Only those who do not know how to write are disqualified. So, what are the reasons for the disqualification? The reason behind Article 1327 is that those persons mentioned can easily be victims of fraud, as they are not capable of understanding or knowing the nature or import of their action. They can enter into contract only through a parent or guardian. So that is all for Article 1306 and Article 1327.